Now, in this exercise, which is 4.2, we're going to be doing the area of a triangle. You guys would have known the area of the triangle just to be the half base times height for a right angle triangle. Do you got that? The formula I'm about to give you now will work for any triangle. It will work for obtuse triangles, any triangle it will work for. Do you got it? So if you have a right angle triangle, always do a half base times height. It's very easy. However, if you don't have a right angle triangle, here's the method we're now using. Right? You're given 3 points. Okay? These 3 points here. And there's a formula. And the formula is a half x1, y2, take away x2, y1. Does anybody know what those two vertical lines means? If I got an answer of minus 34, the answer would be 34. And what's half of 34? 17 would be the answer if that's the case, right? Now, what's the issue with only having an x1 and y1 and x2 and y2? How many points do you see? You see 3 points, and you're like, that's not great. Which ones do I put in? So here's the deal. Okay, so Phelan, call out those 3 points for me now, please. 2, 3. 5, 1, and 2, 0. Right, your triangle you guys are talking about is this triangle here. Okay, and it's very easy. And I'd like us all to do it this way if we can. Which point is nearest to the 0, 0? 2, 0. Always pick the point that's nearest 0, 0. It doesn't matter which point you pick, that's the point. If I bring B to 0, 0, you'll still get the same size triangle. But I want us all doing this the same way, so I only have to do one type of correction to cover the full class. Do you get what I'm saying? I don't want to have to do 3 different corrections. So I want you always to figure out which one's closest and bring that one. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring C over here. C turns into point D. You got it? How far did you travel to the left? 2. So I'm going to bring B 2 to the left as well. I'm going to bring A 2 to the left. Now, what do you notice about the new triangle compared to the old triangle? It's the exact same size. So, if I get the area of the new triangle, it's the same thing as getting the area of the old triangle. Does that make sense? Alright? And so, that's how you do it visually. Okay? But you guys are an honours leaving cert class, so you guys shouldn't necessarily have to draw the diagrams in a lot of cases. So here's what happens. We turned this point here, which was, what point's that? 2, 3. What did 2, 3 turn into? Sure. Alright, so what you did was, do you know why we moved to the left 2? Yeah? That's minus 2 to x. So that turns into 0, 3. This one? 2 to the left, 3, 1. And this one here? Now, here's the deal. This equation only works when one of your points is 0, 0. Which means you're going to call this one x1, y1. And the other one x2, y2. It doesn't matter which way you put it. So here's what we're going to do now. It's going to be a half. It's going to be blank times blank minus blank times blank. So it's going to be 0 times 1. And it's going to be 3 times 3. What's our answer going to be? A half of minus 9. What's a half of minus 9? A half, it's the same as half of 9, which is 4.5 units squared. That's the size of your triangle. If it was measured in meters, it'd be meters squared, and if it was measured in centimeters, it'd be centimeters squared. Everybody go with that? Alright, we're going to do lots of this in a second, so yes. Yes, that formula is in your logbooks. Now, sorry, does question 6 have quadrilaterals in it? What I mean by that is a four-sided object. So there's no four-sided objects here, is there? Ah, I gotta do that. Alright, Phelan, will you call out, no, it's too easy actually. Nope, we're not gonna do that, it's too easy. Let's move on. Alright, question 7, everybody. You feel with that? Question 7. Now, alright. Alright, have a quick read of 7, please, guys. Now, question 7. Find the value of k if the area of the given triangle is 7. Alright, no bother. Is it already on 0, 0? Perfect. That means that can be x1, y1, and that can be x2, y2. Ever cool with that? You get your formula out where you say a equals a half, x1, y2, minus x2, y1. 7 equals a half, blank times blank, minus blank times blank. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do 4 times k, and we're also going to do 3 times 6. See that 2, what am I going to do with it? Bring it up to the 7 and call it 14, is that okay? And this is going to be 4k minus 18. What did we do last time when we had something like this a couple of chapters ago? Square both sides. What's 14 squared? It's either 196 or 256. I can never remember. 196. Square this out and you get 4k minus 18 by 4k minus 18, which I believe is 16k squared minus 72k. But then you double the 72k to get 144k. And then 18 by 18, no idea. 264? 324? Right, let's keep going. 16k squared minus 144k. And what's 324 take away 196? 128. Any chance all those numbers are divisible by 16? Go on. So yeah, k squared. I think that's 9. Yeah. And now everything becomes quite easy then, doesn't it? So it's going to be k. We'll be able to rule out one of the answers, or will we? K minus 1 and equals 0. K equals 1 and k equals 8. 1 and 8 would mean what, guys? Both of them are in the first quadrant, aren't they? See the way I can put 1 or 8 in there and it makes sense. As if I had an answer of minus 1, would it make sense? Because the triangle would be over there, wouldn't it? So I needed a positive value. And it also says values, plural. So now I'm on the correct path there, okay? Now, have a look down, see what else is here. Anything have decent of a challenge, I'll do it. Okay, nope, you're not worth it. You're also not worth it. Alright, let's keep going. Oh, sorry, one thing. Phelan, can you call me out the points for question 8, please? That's the points for question 8, okay? Here they are drawn out. Alright, go on, give them to me.
0, 0, 1.
Alright, 0, 0, 1, 3. Oh, sorry, I wrote that down wrong. Go again, I did 3, 1. 0, 6, 1, 3, and 2. Alright, it's a funny looking triangle to me. Gonna be you guys. Why is that not a triangle? It's not a triangle because of, oh, sorry. It's not a triangle because all 3 points are on the same line. This means they're collinear. Do you get what I'm saying? What would be the area of the triangle? If you treat it like a triangle and did the routine, what would you get? 0, because the triangle doesn't exist. This means for question 8, if you do the area of a triangle, you'll get 0. When you get 0, it proves that all 3 points are on the same line. Axis same. Okay, cool. Alrighty. Nearly there. Alright. So I've done 3, 7, 8. Which one looks awful? 12, doesn't it? What do you know about question 11? The value has to be equal to 0. You're going to have to do your translation, aren't you? I won't do the question for you, but I will translate the points. So I'll show you what I mean by that now. I'll just start it off for you, okay? So, what you know is that you have 3 points. 2 minus 1, 8k, and 11. Do everybody cool with that? When you're told they're collinear, what does this mean? Straight line, and they're straight line, and the area has to be 0, 0. Am I allowed to use the area formula right now? Why not? One of the points isn't 0, 0. Which is the closest point to the origin? So how do I change that into 0, 0? Minus 2 to x and 1 to y. So what does that mean for this one? 6 and a plus 1. Next one? 9 and 3. Then you just put in your values, don't you? And you gotta figure out what k value causes it to be equal to 0. Is that okay? Lob those points into the calculator, then figure out what k value causes it to be equal to 0. So you guys will finish that off yourselves later on, okay? You're doing 11 on your own later on. Now, so 3, 7, 8. I touched on 11, and now I'm doing 12. Alright. Alright. How far does this exercise go up, Ben? Last one? Alright. Alright, guys. Excuse me, gents. Last question 12, alright? Here's how you're going to go about doing question 12. We have We have 3 points to make a triangle, and what happens is if you draw, so they're not the midpoint. So if I drew a really obtuse looking triangle, do you see what I'm doing here? This triangle is a bit obtuse looking. If I draw a line perpendicular to this and it has to go through the point, so it has to start at the other vertex and go through the, like that. See the way it's 90 degrees? It's not guaranteed to be the midpoint, is it? M is not the midpoint. L is not the midpoint. You get what I'm saying? It's not guaranteed to be the midpoint, is it? What would be the only case where that would be the midpoint? If it was an equilateral triangle. If that was a 60, 60, 60 triangle, then that would be the midpoint. Basically, your line straight down will hit the midpoint as well. But I can't guarantee that, can I? No. So just letting you know it's not the midpoint, right? For the time being. Unless it says it is. Now, using AC as the base, write down the area. Interesting. Using AC as the base, write down the area of ABC. Ooh, it's tough. Okay. This is not a nice question. Now, here's what I'm thinking we do. I think we're just going to get the area using, I'm going to get the area using any means I want. So what did we just learn in this exercise? Which one do you understand is 0, 0? Say A, would you? So how do you going to change 8? Bring 8 to 0, 0 means doing what? Yeah. And? Awesome. Okay. Do the same thing for B. We'll bring that to, what will B turn into? 3, 6. And what will C turn into? Huh? 5, 0. Awesome. Alright. Gonna do my formula. I'll explain why I'm doing it this way in a second, alright? You know I can do it this way though, that's the main thing. Half, we call this one x1, y1, and this one x2, y2. So I'm going to get 3 times 0. And then here goes. 5 times 6. A half of minus 30 is what? 15. Okay? Now get this. I know the area of this triangle is 15, but guess what I would have had to do otherwise? If I was to do this the old school way, I would have to get the length of the base and the length of the perpendicular height. And then I'll do the length of the base by the length of the perpendicular height. Half base times height would give me the area. Would you agree with that? What is the length of the yellow part anyway? What's the length of the yellow part? What's minus 2 all the way to 3? 5 across. So 5 is the length of the yellow part. You got that? Okay. Is there any way of getting the blue part? Yeah, I know that now, but is there any way of doing that beforehand? Yeah, it's 1, 7.
And the base is at 1.
The base is at 1. Could have got it that way, actually. Yeah. I can't. I know actually. I know the y value of the midpoint, but I couldn't find the x value of the midpoint. Does that make sense? That's why I was thinking I couldn't get the midpoint. So that's perfect. In that case, we know that that's 6 and that's 5. So I have 6 times 5. Anybody? 15. Is that the same answer we got down here? Which way was faster? The second way, yeah? And the second way was the way they actually asked you to do it. Then I asked you to find the length of B to C. Alright, how do you find the length of B to C of interest? Anybody know? Yeah, use the distance formula. So you're at, what's 3 take away 1 squared, and what's it, 1 take away 7 squared? And what you get, throw that into the calculator, lads. Let me know. Give me in square root form. 2 root 10. Lads, everybody happy with 2 root 10? Alright, here's the key point. And this is what they love to do. They love to do this in the leaving cert. Here's the key point. No matter what base and what height you use, the answer is always 30. So if I use this as my base, and I use the purple one as my height, if I half the two of them, the answer still has to be 15. You got it? But we know the length of the blue one. What's the length of the blue one? The length of the blue one's 2 root 10. Is that alright? Use x to be the length of this part here. And we know the answer has to be 15. So what can we get here then? Cancel the two of them. Root 10 times x is 15. X is 15 over root 10. Anybody know what 15 over root 10 is if you put it in the calculator? Give it to me in decimals if you have to. 4.7. Alright, great. Alright, for homework tonight, you guys are going to do 3, 5, 6, 8, 10, and 11. Sorry, miss.